Okay, so now we're going to create a drawing for this exploded view. So just up the top, File, New Drawing, make sure you click from Animation. So if you do from Design, up to the car fully assembled. If you do from the animation, it'll show you whatever this view is. So I'm going to create this as a A3 page. Okay, standard ISO. Yours probably won't come up with something like that, but if it does, just hit OK. And hopefully what it will give you is your orientation, which is your home view, which is what we're looking at when we created that view. First thing we want to change is we want to make sure that this is 1:1, so it's full size. I'll click to drop that on the page. You might want to play around with your tangent edges. You'll probably just need to have full length tangent edges on. If I double click on this and turn those off, I'll show you what it looks like without them. So clearly it looks much better with full length tangent edges on. There's other style views here as well, so you can do a shaded view if you're keen. Imagine that line drawing is probably the most official way of showing this. So line drawing, tangent edges. Yeah, okay. So all we need to do now with this is create what's called a parts list and label all the parts. Now, if I go to tables, parts list, it'll let you drop in a list of parts which are already in this model. Now, if I double click on it, it'll give me a bit more. It gives me the options here, where you can change the direction of the table. For some reason, it's upside down, so we'll switch that to down, so the title's at the top. And you've got a list of all the items, how many there are of that item in the model. And there's a part number and a description and a material. Now, we probably don't need a description. We probably don't really need a materials list, but it's a good exercise. And I'm going to change the part name, turn part name on, part number off, just so I've got all the parts. Now, close. You would assume that you'd be able to go in and change these details out and rename the parts, but you can't. Basically, it's whatever you've called the parts over here in your model browser. So if you want to change the names in here, you'll have to change them in your model browser. And same with the materials. Now, the default material is steel in any part that you make. So you're going to have to go in and change the materials the parts are made out of in order to change them on your parts list. So if I come back in here and right click on my design, open up my browser, so I've got all my parts in here. If I went to my body, right click, it's got one there called physical material, and currently it's set as steel. So I'd want to duplicate this, and I'd want to call it balsa wood. Not sure if that's one or two words. Anyway, I'm going to drag it on top of just like it's a material. So you'd want to do that for all your parts. And close. When I save this and head back to my drawing, I'll have up the top here, I'll need to update it. And my body, which isn't appearing in the parts list, should show up as balsa wood. Now the reason why it's not appearing in my parts list is because it's still a body. I would need to turn that into a component for it to show up in my parts list. Now, the thing about changing this into a component, I would want to make sure that I don't need to change anything beyond this point. So I'm going to head back into my save. When I head back into here and we update, I get the body there on the bottom of the list. All right. Now it's just a matter of going around and putting balloons on every part which is in your model. So for some reason it's automatically put in a bunch of balloons, but if I just go down to balloon, I can start labeling these ones. Now, I know that this is a number 2 front wheel, but if I was looking at this drawing, I wouldn't know unless it's labelled. So you just want to go around and label everything, and even though that it's the same, it's just to clarify for whoever's looking at this image, they know what they're looking at. Now, the hardest part about this is making it look neat. So there's dozens of different ways you can go about it, but there's no right or wrong. So it may be a bit of mucking around with all your balloons. So I'd try and get all of these hopefully to come straight down and just align them all together so they're all vertically aligned. Yeah, so that's the process, is to go through, label all your parts and save this one up. As I said, go through and apply the materials for each of your parts as well in your parts list. So that helps.